My name is Lori Bruce, and I'm a bioethicist at Yale's Interdisciplinary Center for Bioethics. I thought I would focus my time on some of the common moral arguments related to aid in dying. I first wanted to examine the early death argument. Does aid in dying hasten the patient's death, perhaps by hours or days? Yes, it does. But is it morally relevant? No, it is not. Patients already have the right to receive invasive procedures that will take weeks or months off of their life. For instance, some patients have cardiac implants that will shock their heart if the heart stops to prevent them from dying of early heart failure. But at some point, that patient will reach the end of their life, and continuing to shock their heart would then be cruel. It would also be preposterous to shock them merely in the name of extra minutes or hours or days. And that is why it is acceptable to allow these patients to remove or disable their implants at end of life. And 92% of physicians who manage patients with cardiac implants have deactivated an ICD, and 77% have deactivated a pacemaker. This path is understood and permissible, even though it may curtail weeks or months or perhaps even years off of a patient's life. Every day in every hospital in Connecticut, patients choose to avoid or have procedures or stop various treatments that would otherwise extend their life. And no one is suggesting that we should pass a law to prevent those actions, because they are already widely considered to be ethically permissible when examined on a case-by-case basis, just like MAID would be. Medicine is not about trying to eke out every single extra minute of a patient's life. And if legislators really believed that we needed to maximize our lives as long as possible, then you'd ban smoking, you'd mandate spinach, and you'd require us all to hit the track every day. So we need to stop thinking about this in terms of an early death or lost moments argument, and really think about what's going on for these patients. Also, ethical policymaking relies on good data. So when there are fears that arise from constituents, we need to take them seriously, but we're also obligated to determine whether those fears are grounded in fact. In places where aid in dying has passed, there's no evidence of widespread discrimination or bias. And I was worried about this for years and not supportive of MAID for a good 2 decades, because I was very worried about this bias. But there are so many protections in place that this perceived problem does not exist. And yes, there is bias within medicine, and we need to work on it. But frankly, if we were to write all health law and policy as carefully as this MAID bill, we would go a long way to improve other aspects of medicine where those biases do indeed exist. So I wanted to thank you for carefully considering SB 1076.